Incidents that will shock you.
In 1978, Sex Pistols bassist Sid Vicious and his girlfriend Nancy Spungen hosted a party in their New York City hotel room. The morning after which, Nancy was found dead in the bathroom with a single stab wound to her abdomen. Despite being comatose on drugs the entire night and having zero recollection, Vicious admitted to the stabbing and was charged with her murder. Many believe that Nancy was actually killed by a drug dealer who was attempting to rob the drugged-up couple, and that Vicious was totally incapable of harming her considering the state he was in. But the bass player ended up dying of a drug overdose while out on bail before he could stand trial, and the case was closed. In 1996, Maryland woman Sharon Lopatka was killed in a bizarre case of consensual homicide. She had emailed dozens of men, asking them to torture and kill her for mutual sexual gratification, before meeting a man named Robert Glass, who would follow through with her request. One morning, Sharon left her husband a note saying she would never return, and told him not to track down her killer. Glass ended up strangling her to death, and was soon arrested after police found the emails and discovered Sharon's body on his property. He admitted to fulfilling her torture fantasy, but also maintained that her death was an accident. Glass pled guilty and was sentenced to 3 to 5 years, before dying of a heart attack while in prison. In 1999, Little League baseball player Kevin Stephen was hit in the chest by a baseball bat, causing his heart to suddenly stop. Luckily, off-duty nurse Penny Brown was in attendance and saved the boy's life by giving him CPR. 7 years later, Penny Brown was choking at a restaurant when one of the workers rushed over to give her the Heimlich maneuver, thus saving her life. That worker was Kevin Stephen. Jacques Hébert was a revolutionary French journalist during the Reign of Terror, who was heavily in favor of beheading anyone who disagreed with his radical views. After he accused Marie Antoinette of incest with her son, Hébert was sentenced to death via guillotine. He reportedly fainted several times on the way to his execution and screamed hysterically when placed under the blade. To amuse the crowd and make a statement, the executioners rigged the blade to stop inches from Hébert's neck. They did this 3 times before finally executing him on the 4th attempt. This was the last photo ever taken of Marco Siffredi, the first man to descend Mount Everest on a snowboard. He was attempting his second descent in 2002, when Sherpas urged him not to go due to bad weather conditions. But Siffredi ignored their warnings and was never seen again. During a trip to Paris in 2007, Prince Harry had his driver go through the same tunnel that his mother, Princess Diana, died in at the same speed her car was going at the time, as he was trying to find closure for her death. He later described the attempt as ill-conceived, saying it only brought him more pain, as it was just a regular tunnel that nobody should have ever died in. James Heming, the man who introduced mac and cheese to the United States, served as a slave to Thomas Jefferson and took his own life at the young age of 36, after years of suffering from severe alcoholism. Just last year, a 27-year-old model from New York City shot and killed her husband before turning the gun on herself. It was later revealed that she did it to prevent him from finding out that she cheated on him, which would have resulted in their divorce. In 2022, college wrestlers Kendall Cummings and Brad Lowry were hiking in the woods near Yellowstone when Lowry was suddenly attacked by a grizzly bear. Kendall yelled and threw rocks at the bear to no avail, so he decided to jump on its back. This allowed Lowry to escape and get help, while Kendall wrestled the bear until it ran off. Despite several deep wounds, both men were rescued and survived.